Hey friends, hey, this week we are going to talk about the strategies with cleaning mold. Did you know that there's strategies with cleaning mold? Did you know that you just can't wipe it up? It's actually extremely toxic. So last week we talked about all of the things that mold causes. So all of the issues within the body. So things like cough, that's really obvious. But rashes and anxiety, depression, and all sorts of other health issues that mold causes, those were all discussed in last week's video. So if you are curious at all about that, then go to last week's video in YouTube and check it out. Also, be sure to subscribe and like and share it. Lots of people are affected by mold and they have no clue. They just think they're getting old. They just think these are the signs of aging, but they're not. So be sure to like and subscribe and share. I really appreciate, we need to get this message out for others to know. So before we go on to talking about cleaning mold, I want to give some kind of did you know facts about mold. So first off, mold can begin to grow in an environment that's 50% humidity or more. So ideal humidity levels in your home are 30 to 50%. Don't want to let it get higher than that. So you want to be monitoring your humidity levels within your house. And realistically, this range takes quite a bit of work here in Michigan. And if you're in Florida, other humid states like that, it takes work. So you do want to be monitoring, especially if you're in humid states. Mold can fully develop and be strong enough to be considered toxic within 24 hours. One day, 24 hours, and it's toxic. It's strong enough to make someone sick. So let's see. Mold is a participant in a military strategy called chemical warfare. Did you think mold was something just to be wiped up and be done with? It's actually so strong that it's part of the chemical warfare process. And then mold gets stuck in the body, blocking all of the major detoxification organs. So you can't just breathe in mold and expect, if you're doing this every day, you're probably going to have some side effects. So it's very, very important to know how to clean mold. First off, though, if you were to Google how to clean mold, you are going to get one really big myth, and that is use bleach. Unfortunately, friends, don't use bleach. I beg you, hear me out, because bleach will cause more issues than it does any good. So, and also it's a really good reminder that don't believe everything you Google. So give it a try. See how many searches you find on using bleach with mold. It's like the #1 recommended way to clean mold, and it's horrible for cleaning mold. So what happens when you use bleach with mold? Bleach does its job in that it bleaches the mold white. So it takes the color out of mold, but that's all it's doing. It's not killing the mold. Mold is a living organism. Mold was designed by God to decay things. So that's why in the fall the air gets moldy, and here in Michigan we have the leaves that fall and start to decay and they get kind of moldy and everything starts to decay in the fall. That's mold in its active form. We'll see things that are run down that are kind of molding, they're decaying. Food in the refrigerator, if it's been in the refrigerator for a week, it's gonna grow mold on it. Mold is doing its job. It's decaying things. So it has a purpose. It is valuable on this earth. Without it, we just have all this junk always laying around. So mold has a purpose, but it's not intended to be in our homes. We don't want it in our homes. So bleach is actually an antagonist to mold. It's like you're picking on your little brother. If you add bleach to mold, it's like you're picking on it. It's your little brother is gonna eventually blow and come after you, or your big brother. He's gonna come after you. So don't put bleach on mold. It will come after you. Let's see. So what's happening when you're combining bleach with mold is mold generates these mycotoxins. So it's kind of like a volcano. Mold is like a volcano. It's spewing out these mycotoxins that is keeping all danger away from it. It's protecting it. It's keeping it safe so it can stay alive. Those mycotoxins are intended to kill anything that tries to disturb it. They're truly intended to kill anything trying to disturb it. It wants to stay alive. So mold combined with those mycotoxins makes it even more toxic. And what happens is when we disturb it, those mycotoxins, the mold, all of it gets kind of spewed up into the air, and with the bleach chemicals added to it, and it goes into our lungs and adheres into our lungs. It adheres within our body. So not a good idea to use bleach. And let's see, mycotoxins. Mycotoxins, because they are intended to kill anything that surrounds it or that comes near it, like that's the purpose of the mycotoxin. It's going to, what it does is if it gets in the body, it starts to block our detoxification systems. So you think our lungs when we're breathing, it's so common that people have coughs when they're exposed to mold. That's a common mold symptom. Our liver gets stuck. It gets stagnant and not able to work. Our kidneys begin to shut down and hurt. Let's see, our digestive system is affected. It's disturbed. It becomes unbalanced. So all of these areas are lymph. So a lot of people get affected by edema, where they like swell up. They hold water. They hold toxins ultimately within the body, and they gain weight. They can't understand why they're gaining weight, and it's because of the mold that's stuck in their body. So we don't want to disturb the mycotoxins. We don't want to get them flowing around. We don't want to add bleach to the mycotoxins to make them even stronger. And so we've got to take care of it properly. So reminder, bleach only bleaches the mold. Don't use it. It looks like it's working. It's changing the color. It does something that kind of feels satisfactory to us. We notice a difference, so we think it's working. It's not. Don't use bleach. Another negative about bleach is it leaves this sneaky little water residue that actually makes it perfect for growing more mold. So totally want to avoid using bleach. It's extremely toxic. Bleach in itself is not good for us. It's one of those products that I don't have in my house. I don't keep it in my house. It's just not a good product for us to be breathing. But combining that with mold equals chemical warfare. You don't want to be exposed to it. So next week we're going to talk about how are the proper ways to clean mold. But if this has intrigued you at all, don't worry. I have a free little guide in my bio that tells you exactly how to clean mold. So if you want to get it sooner than next week, then go to my bio and grab the household mold toolkit. It's free, it's for your using, and it's going to be super handy for you just to have around when you find mold, whether it's in your toilet, whether it's on your windows, whether it's wherever it is. This is a handy guide for you to use for cleaning mold properly, because you don't ever want to use bleach. So one last comment. If you used bleach, or if you are cleaning mold at all, then it's going to disturb it, and you're going to probably breathe it unless you're wearing a mask, protective goggles, all of that. It's a really good idea to have a binder to pull the mold out, any exposure out, just to be sure that you're not getting sick from it. You don't want that cold. You don't want any of those symptoms of mold exposure. You don't want to add to what you've already been exposed to. So it's a really good idea to have a binder. My favorite binders are a binder from Cellcore Bioscience. It's Biotox. And let's see, the other binder is Chlorella. And in my bio, you'll find those binders in there available, because I'm very passionate about mold and staying clean and having those binders. So you want a really good Chlorella, which I like Energy Bits. It's clean, it's pure. And then Biotoxin binder, Biotox from Cellcore Biosciences. Those are both really good. So I love you guys. I hope this intrigues you. I hope that you go and do the search on cleaning bleach or cleaning mold and see if bleach comes up. Ignore it. Don't use it. Stay tuned to next week, or grab the free household mold toolkit from my bio. So I love to help, and reach out with questions if you have any questions. Have a beautiful week. See you next week.